What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. You've got all the boys in. We've got Austin. We've got Coach. Everybody's hanging out. What's up, fellas? How's it going? How was your weekend? How was your week?
Week's been good. Today's tampering period has been wild. Absolute crazy.
And that the reason we're not doing, a free agent episode right now or anytime soon until it's fully done is because we're not insiders. We're not getting that information quick, and we don't want to have to sit here just looking through our phones the whole time, looking at the actual insiders getting the info.
Yeah.
So we'll hit y'all up with a little free agency recap. In the meantime, starting out with our top 5 list for our positional rankings, still going in on the focus with being the draft. Got the quarterbacks for you today. Austin, as a former quarterback, how'd you like putting this list together?
Well, it's a lot different, quarterbacks these days. They got legs up under them.
Oh, hell
Them
yeah.
boys
Are you saying you weren't very mobile?
No, I was actually.
You were a
I
statue
actually
back
was. I was the start of those kind of caliber quarterbacks.
Oh shit! So you were Josh Allen before Josh Allen.
That's what it was.
100%.
That's what it
My
was.
Then
God,
fake
yeah.
reverses was
Such a
me
missed
all day.
opportunity.
It really
What?
was. I got too big for my body.
I don't know.
Got
He
too-
was
got
more
too
of a
big.
Justin Herbert because he could run, but he also had the cannon on him.
Yeah.
That's what it's
I
all
wasn't
about.
just
And he
I
was a
wasn't just
lefty.
slinging interceptions
So he was,
everywhere.
and he was a lefty. He's like Tua, Herbert, and Josh Allen all rolled
All right.
into one.
Oh
and
my God,
right.
Austin, missed
Here we are.
opportunities.
Here we are doing
Slow
a
to roll.
podcast.
Steve Young.
So let's start it off with who do you guys have as your number 5 quarterback? I thought this one was probably the easiest of. Well, there was a
Yeah.
couple of easy ones, but this one was definitely one of the easiest decisions for me.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Michael Penix Jr.
Same, actually.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, boys. I got Bo Nix.
You got Bo
Yeah,
Nix.
boy.
So Bo Nix didn't make my list. I think that Penix's accuracy, the fact that he's left-handed and his throws look so sexy, all of that stuff, it added up a lot. I know that the injury concern is
Sexual
definitely
throws. Put that down on the pros.
there. There we go.
Got it.
Sexual throws.
Pros. Got it.
But why do you have Bo Nix here, Austin? What did you like about him?
I just like him. I liked him all last year watching him. Like watching college football, I just was a huge fan of what he does over there.
Most starts
How-
in college football history for a quarterback. The
Yeah.
bro has played a lot. He's the most experienced quarterback in this draft.
Him and Michael
Maybe
Penix
that's-
are right there.
Maybe that's why I'm
I
a
sat
fan of
there
him
going
because he's
between the
got
two,
more
so,
games under his belt.
But the arm strength and the accuracy for Penix is what gave me the nod for him over Nix. Nix is right there comfortably at number 6. Like nobody on his heels at all. That's a big drop off to me from Nix till
I
the
would
next
say
guy.
Joe Milton.
Joe Mama?
Yes,
Joe
sir.
Milton? Joe Milton's got the strong arm and everything, but he
You
is
guys
a
just say that,
developmental
but
guy.
he can throw slant routes. He can throw whatever route the receiver's running.
Again, and like I said last week, though, I've also seen him throw 5-yard balls into the dirt.
I've seen other quarterbacks throw 5-yard balls into the dirt. Tua Tagovailoa. I've seen other quarterbacks do it. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. I've seen these.
I mean, yes, it does happen,
It
but
happens.
it
It
happens
slips out of your hand.
frequently,
Nobody's
so-
perfect.
I think
So-
for him to have made my top 5 wasn't an option for Milton. My big thing with Penix is like you said, I tend to, I'm going to contradict myself later in this list, but I tend to prefer a quarterback that's willing to stand in the pocket, wait until the throws are there, and make accurate throws down the field. And this guy's arm can make it on every level. Short, medium, long ball. He's got touch on his passes. He's got velocity. He is what quarterbacks used to be. Now, he doesn't have the legs like Bo Nix, but I feel like his ability with his arm outweighs Bo Nix. That's why I have him higher on my list.
All right, so who do you guys have at number 4?
So 4, I took Austin's favorite player, J.J. McCarthy. I think that he is a step above Penix because he has a little bit more of that athleticism. I'd say that his arm isn't quite. It's hard to say because he in the combine he looked great, and like reviewing his season and like his highlights, they didn't really utilize him, but his ability to make that throw off balance on the outside as he's running away really does remind me of like a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, like his ability to make plays
That was a
and
wild
like
one.
I'm not saying that he's
JJ
as fast as Lamar.
Lamar here. What? I
I'm
know what you
saying
said. I
that
got
he
he can
can
make the off-platform throws, the
off
Aaron
platform.
Rodgers, the
Yes.
Josh Allen. Like I got you. And no, yeah, I completely agree there. Who Austin? Who you got at number 4? Before I say
I,
mine,
I got that boy Drake May
Drake
at
May.
4.
that's who
Okay.
I've got.
Okay.
Nice.
That's who I've got at number 4. But what's your reasoning?
Because there's better quarterbacks in front of him. They're more
It's like
talented
okay,
quarterbacks in
all
front of
right.
him.
Like give
Like
me
I
not a
got
bullshit
guys ranked.
answer. Like what's
But
your
no,
reason?
I feel you. But like he's a solid quarterback. I love everything about him. He's at 4 because he's solid as fuck. But he's a North Carolina quarterback. You know, if he went and played somewhere
Trubisky, Sam
bigger,
Howell. It's not a good history in front of him. See, I was wondering if you had a particular thing. My whole thing with him
he does
is
everything I like.
guys I have above him, and I honestly thought about putting Penix above him here for the simple fact of I think he needs at least a year to sit. I think out of the guys I have listed in front of him, he's the one that is least likely to succeed his first year out. Now, what do I know? Nothing at all. But for me, he's the redshirt sophomore in the group. He's the younger guy of all the quarterbacks for the most part. He has the athletic ability that will help him on the field in his first year. But again, I feel like he needs more time versus these other guys to me are more day one ready. Penix and Nix to me are outliers because of so much experience that they have. I think they're both day one ready for the right situation. But I've got Drake May at 4. So number 3, I'll go ahead and shoot mine out there to you. I've got JJ McCarthy. You know, kind of everything
Nice.
you said there with him. I like his ability. I like the way, yes, he wasn't used very much, but when you actually go back and watch the film, the things he was asked to do, he did at a high level. And he looked great in the combine. He weighed in at 220, which showed me a little thickness to him to help
Yep.
withstand some of those hits in the
And with
league.
that athleticism he has, I mean, that's why I have him so high. I
He,
took
he he's on a big team, so people looked at him as a smaller dude.
I
Like all the
I
players that play for that team are big.
I put
Mhm.
Drake May at 3, and I put him above JJ. He's not as athletic as JJ, but I felt like his arm and his ability to make throws, like the things that he did with his career with the players that he had around him. Like Penix had 3 receivers that are going to go in day 1 or day 2 of this draft.
Mhm.
Unbelievable talent that he was throwing to. There was nobody like that at North Carolina. And I think that that is why I give Drake May so much leeway. I think that you're right that he might have some struggles because he's going to be playing against competition that he hasn't really seen before,
Mhm.
unlike every other person on this list. Every other person on this list has played in the biggest games against the biggest opponents, and they've gotten to really see how difficult it can be out there. I just think that,
Didn't throw at the combine either. So I mean, with Milton going crazy with his 70-yard throws, Drake would have been right behind him. He has a cannon.
yeah,
So it's just a
Yep.
matter of, matching the arm with the brain and just getting it all figured out. I think he benefits from a year of sitting, but I completely understand the argument for putting him above JJ at this point as well.
I do think he's the biggest bust alert in the first round for quarterbacks. I think that he could be a next level talent, or he
I
could
mean,
totally be the next Mac
He
Jones.
is the biggest boom bust
Yes.
out of the quarterbacks. I do agree with you there. And so, Austin,
same
I
with him and
assume
Caleb.
JJ at number 3 for you.
Nope, almost.
Who you got at
Oh,
3? Oh, shit.
Caleb Williams. I
Caleb
ain't sold
Williams
yet.
shows up on
I
the
ain't,
list at 3. I
all
thought
I
right.
ain't
I was going to
sold
be a
yet.
dick.
All right.
I
So
so
I
so you got to be full well rounded, all right, as a QB, all right. And he ain't got that dog in him. He's just a little too soft for me when it comes to like the interviews and him talking. It's not just that, but it's just like watching him over the years. The play style is great, but can it hold up?
I've heard a
That's all
lot
I'm
of
scared of.
I've heard a lot of this from other people. Shout out Day One Dolphins. on like, whenever he started to get really famous, he kind of went like this a little bit instead of like
Yeah.
this. He didn't shoot up in
He think his
2023.
shit don't stink. And
And
so
I
a
get
player like
that.
that gonna get got real quick in the NFL. And he gonna have a rude awakening.
And I think that the Bears are going to be it's going to be a rough organization because they've never
It's
really
not like
been
he's
one to
going into
flourish a
the
quarterback.
Cowboys or Dolphins or
All right,
Chiefs
so
situation.
let's
Like
go ahead and roll into it with your next one then. Who's number 2?
that boy
Please.
JJ McCarthy. Come on
Thank
now.
God.
All
Go
I
right,
was
blue.
so
really
Go
hoping,
blue.
dude.
my question there is what to you puts JJ McCarthy over Caleb? Now,
He's
I
why.
thought my list was once we get
Same.
through it was going to
I
be a
did
little
too.
short.
I did too.
But you having JJ above Caleb Williams and Caleb sitting at the 3, I just need to, what exactly did JJ show you?
Before
that
you answer
Caleb-
that, can you show everyone what's on the side of your hat? Okay. All
That
right.
blue, baby.
Now
Okay.
go ahead and give your
That big
answer.
M. Hey, come on now. I've been watching that boy for years growing up. Come on. He has everything you want in your quarterback. Like,
Okay.
he's basically a better version of Joe Burrow to me. He can scramble, and he has Joe Burrow's arm and Joe Burrow's mentality, but yeah, I think even better. Like, it's hard to have that and even
That
describe
dog,
it.
like you say.
Yeah, it's easy to just say that dog, but it's like it's a gritty mentality of like I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna win no matter what it takes. Everyone around him rallies together, and so I just see everyone buying into him. I think that
Now,
it's gonna be a steal for whoever takes him.
after your CJ Stroud over Bryce Young takes, I told you you've gained 1 year of silence for me on your quarterback takes. I won't say
Yes,
a
sir.
word. I just like to hear the reasoning so that way I can file that back here for a later time, this time next year. But that's that's wild. We're probably gonna have to clip this beat and just put it out there because that, if anything's gonna get some hate, it's gonna be that right there. But
Yeah.
my number 2, I've got Caleb Williams. He's not my
I do as
number
well.
1 quarterback. My main reasoning with Caleb versus Jaden is I feel like Jaden does the simple stuff better. Just the simple drop back, hit your hitch, release the ball. I feel like with Caleb, just watching a lot of his stuff, there's times to where he's trying to make a highlight play when that's not necessarily needed. Also, Jaden is a bigger bodied guy. Caleb isn't as big as Jaden. And I mean,
And
that's
as
not really
athletic.
in the long run going to matter, but it does matter as far as a durability with Jaden in his 6'3", 6'4" frame. He can put some muscle on. We've seen Lamar Jackson gain almost 30 pounds of muscle in the league.
Yep.
That can happen. You can't get taller.
No.
So that hasn't been a problem with Caleb to this point. But for me, it was hard not to take into bias as well on where he's going to end up when he ends up going to Chicago. I just don't know how much they set him up for success with what we've seen them put around Justin Fields, and Justin Fields was taken decently high for him, and you just never really put anything around him. Now, different scheme now, different GM than what brought Justin in, things like that. For me, I might be eating my words, but I just comparing Jaden Daniels to Caleb Williams, I would rather have Jaden Daniels.
The thing that
He's just more exciting.
that sold me on Jaden Daniels as the best quarterback in this class was listening to defensive coordinators talk about the nightmare that was trying to game plan against him. That we talk about Josh Allen a lot and how scary he is and how much he puts the team on his back. Jaden Daniels has been doing that every week as a starter.
To play devil's advocate, when we mentioned the things about Drake May versus Michael Penix and how Penix had all these weapons. Caleb Williams hasn't necessarily had any kind of weapons
He had
like
Addison
what
last
Jaden
year.
has had. He did have Jordan Addison last year.
Yep.
But Jaden Daniels has played with Brandon Ayuk at Arizona State. And then he's also played with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., who will both be
First
top
round.
20 picks in this
Yes.
NFL draft.
Yes.
So, there is that argument there for Caleb as well, to where is that why he's looking like he's having to make the highlight play? Because he really is having to make the highlight play. So, I don't know. Like I said, I might eat my words. I very well could possibly change this after looking it over a little more. But for now, it sounds like Jaden Daniels is PFP QB number 1.
I think that the Washington Redskins are
What
Commanders.
Washington racial slurs?
Damn. The Commanders are legitimately going to cheer if Caleb Williams goes number 1 overall. If they get Jaden Daniels to them, this whole Drake May is the second best quarterback that you keep hearing is crazy to me. It's crazy. Jaden Daniels does every single thing that you need a quarterback to do. I think he looks like Lamar Jackson, but after 4 years in the league, Lamar Jackson, and he still might have a better arm than Lamar right now. Like his
college
ability,
stats were very similar to Lamar's. He
looks just
had
like him when
better
he runs.
throwing stats.
yeah,
He looks just Lamar's really the only comp I've seen for Jaden Daniels as far as these guys who put those out there. Now, all that being said, if I were to end up with Caleb Williams as a consolation to not getting Jaden Daniels, I am not mad in the slightest. I think Caleb Williams is going to be great. I'm just worried about the situation, and I will say that did take a little bias into my rankings here because, I was thinking more of listing this out for long-term success.
yeah.
But hey, we appreciate you guys coming in for this quick, short little episode. The top 5 quarterbacks for you. Keep a lookout this week. If you hit that little bell up there, hit the notifications. You'll get little thing whenever the episodes drop. We've got running backs, wide receivers, tight ends coming at you. Tulsi Rose Tea is the sponsor. Hit us on Twitter at @ProFootball_pod. Love you. Peace.
Deuces.